football, there are players and then there are game changers. And in the draft, there are prospects and then there are phenoms. And every year, fans gather around their favorite channels to find out who their team is going to draft. Is it going to be one of these game-changing phenoms? And if the team gets at least one of them, it's considered a good draft. But when a team gets not just one, not just two, but three unexpected phenoms fall right into their lap, well, it must be the Raiders. Because today we have a special guest, one of the three phenoms who fell to the Raiders unexpectedly. We are talking about the myth, the man, the legend, out of Air Force Academy, perhaps the best safety Air Force has ever had, winner of the Jim Thorpe Award, the Bronco Nagurski Award, and the All Mountain West Team Award. We are talking about the one and only Mr. Trey Taylor. How you doing, my brother? Welcome to the Raider D podcast.
Yeah, no, I'm doing good. Appreciate you having me. Glad I could be at the facility for everybody to see. This is gonna be cool.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we are live. So I like to do my podcast live so that the Raider Nation later in the podcast, they can get some of their questions in for you. But yeah, happy to have you here. Happy to have you on the team. And I'm going to be honest with you. I was live for the whole draft. And when you fell all the way to 7, it was a head scratcher. A lot of people were like, what is he doing falling all the way down to 7? Because I know a lot of draft boards had you higher than that. And if you'd have been picked in the earlier rounds, it wouldn't have even been a question for any of the GMs out there. So we're going to dive into all of that and more today. Real quick, before we get going, these types of shows are simply just not possible without our beloved sponsor, Earth Elixir. Guys, if you want to feel great, you want to feel like a champion, go and get your supplements from Earth Elixir. They are a lifelong Raiders fan organization, and they have the highest quality supplements that money can buy. That's why I've been taking them and I love them. So go and check them out today. The link is down in the description. It's going to save you 15% on your very first order. So make sure that you are living your phenomenal life life by checking out our sponsor and supporting a Raiders organization, Raiders fan organization in Earth Elixir. So Trey, let's jump into, I like to do these podcasts because a lot of people see the players, and as fans, all we look at is what you do on the field, and a lot gets missed about who you are. So when I started my podcast, I wanted to give a voice and a platform for people to get to know who these players are beyond the football field. So I like to always start off with, you're in the pros now. You got drafted to the Raiders. Tell me about the family. Tell me about the support that you had to get you to this part, and how big of a part have they played in your life and your success so far?
Yeah, well, my family's been the only reason that I'm here today. Whether it's on the football side of things, whether it's on the academic side of things, whether it's on, the moral growth and who I am as a person side of things, they've always, kind of put me in that right direction and give me the right tools to be the person that I am and the player that I am today. So, I give that all back to them. They really what started this whole thing off, and, I'm just kind of finishing it.
Now, I know I seen, the video of you when you got the call, and, the room was just full of friends and family. How did that feel for them, and how proud of you are they now to see you achieve such a high goal? I know you have a lot of work to do, but just to get to this level, even being drafted is like 1% of people are able to make it to that level. How proud of you are they right now?
Yeah, they were super proud. I'm still getting floods of texts and group chats and stuff like that my family has made, just trying to check up on me every day. But proud is an understatement. Nobody really knows like the extra work that got put in. Nobody really knows what I had to do to get here today. Nobody really knows, the sacrifices I had to make. But all they do know is that this has been like a lifelong goal of mine, and that this has been something that I've worked for the past 17, 18 years of me playing football, so yeah, it's just one of those things, they all saw the commitment, they saw the time, they saw the things necessary to be in the position that I was at the academy. Not easy, not an easy school to go to, first of all, and then to be able to do some of the things that I did. Everybody was emotional. I was crying as soon as I got the call, even though I promised myself I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it is. When you put your all into something like that, I expected it. I expected it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you definitely put in the work to get the accolades that you got at Air Force. Well, a lot of people don't know, like the Jim Thorpe Award is given out to the best DB in college, right? And so for you to get that award is saying something about all of the work that you put in. Now, I know a lot of professional athletes, depending on what sport that they're in, like you're in football, they also do other stuff. So what do you like to do, and what other sports do you play?
So I play basketball. I ran track a while ago. Now I've been picking up pickleball.
Oh, nice.
That's probably definitely my second favorite sport that I've ever played. Football has to go number one, but and pickleball, when I get old and when I can't bend anymore, football, that's gonna definitely be what I take up full time. But
Yeah.
I've done a lot extra outside of football. I think baseball as a kid, I think that definitely worked on my hand-eye coordination from a young age. And didn't really have to take the hitting that sometimes in football it can be accrued by just taking those hits after year after year after year, especially from young. So I was able to build some of that technique and like kind of prowess to my game with baseball, and so that helped me a lot. There was a bunch of skills I learned from all those sports that have helped me be the football player I am. So it's been
for somebody that's trying to achieve what you've achieved. Like, let's say you're talking to 10-year-old Trey Taylor right now. What would be the first thing that you would tell him in order to get to where you're at?
Like those hard times when you don't know what's coming next, when everything is unexpected, when there are question marks about your name, when there are question marks about who you are as a player, as a person, as a human being, period, when you got a bunch of people doubting you. Don't listen to those voices. Come back to what you know as to be that hard work that you put in, because that hard work, that's going to silence everybody when you're actually able to show what that hard work produces. And I think that I did a lot of monitoring what people said about me and what people thought of me, and just I know what I put in. Just do me and continue doing me, and don't let any of that other media stuff and what other people say about you, don't let that mess up who you are in your head.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you went to Air Force Academy.
Yeah.
Right. And I know you had other offers. You could have went to more traditional football programs that pump out more NFL players, Air Force Academy, as well as like the Army and Navy academies. There's this whole issue of military service. There's like this 5-year contract and stuff, but then there's the waiver. A lot of people don't know exactly how that works out because there's just not a lot of guys coming out of the academy that go at a high level in the NFL. How does that work out? I mean, you're in there. I know you have to sign a commitment when you go to Air Force Academy. Did you sign the waiver? Are they giving you a full waiver, or will you have to go and do service after? Or what's your game plan with that?
Yeah, so they gave me a waiver to, kind of play until I can't play anymore. And the day that I'm done playing, I'll go right back into the service and I'll complete my 5 years, my 5-year commitment. And at least 5 years, because I don't know what can happen, during the time that I'm serving. Might stay in longer, but definitely at least 5 years after my football days are over.
Man, salute to you. That's you're talking about dedication. You go to a school where even if you make it to the pros, you still got to go and serve, and you chose to go to Air Force. You could have went to other schools where you didn't have that obligation. I think that's a testament to your character, that you would willingly do that. What is it about the Air Force that really drew you to the academy?
Really, honestly, I didn't have a knowledge of the Air Force or really what it could provide me from a young age, especially in high school. I was just trying to go to the school that I felt like would give me the best opportunity football wise. But what I've learned at the academy and the collective that I've been able to have So like some of my best friends are from the academy. Everybody is pretty, um, they all have the kind of the same wavelength. Everybody has similar goals, similar aspirations. Everybody, has goals in life that they want to go achieve. And being around that every day like that just it forces you to be great. I mean, you build and surround yourself around people who want to be the best at everything that they do. So you have no choice but to work and hopefully outwork them so that you can be that number one person. But everybody works hard. Everybody has a great like aura to them. They have a great work ethic. So going to a school like that only makes somebody better.
So you go through Air Force and you're going into the draft. There's a lot of conversations going around in the media about a lot of the draft prospects out there. And then draft night happens. I know I don't know if you paid attention to it. There's 1,000 different draft boards out there, pre-draft boards. And, I even had like 7 on my channel, right? At the end of the day, I always say we don't know until actually draft night what's going to happen because anything can happen. And with the Raiders, Brock Bowers falls into our lap at 13. Totally unexpected that he would fall out of the top 10, but because of the rush on quarterbacks, that's how he fell. Yep. And we ended up with the best tight end coming out 2 years in a row now, the best tight end coming out of college with Michael Mayer and Brock. And then in the second round, JPJ's available.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow. So, okay, now we just got the best center coming out of college, center/guard. And then it was like this kind of, all right, now we're just addressing needs here and there. Not to say that any of the other guys that were drafted aren't deserving. Every single one of them are. I'm very high on I think we got the A+ draft for the first time in a long time with the Raiders. And then, at pick 223, you're still not picked yet. And I know on some boards it had you higher. And when you look at the accolades that you had at Air Force Academy, you absolutely should have been drafted higher. But I think that maybe there's this stigmatism about, Air Force Academy, Mountain West Conference. Yes, you won the Jim Thorpe, blah, blah, blah. But, it's small school. It's the military. Maybe he's got that on his mind. Let's go somewhere else. Let's go a different direction. And so you fall right into the lap of the Raiders at pick 223. How were you feeling like before you got the call? Were you nervous that you were gonna go undrafted at that point?
Yeah, I was nervous, but honestly, more I was just kind of upset because you have those. It's hard not to look at media before, and it's hard not to search up your name on different websites and see where see where that media platform might have you fall on, or just hearing word from what these coaches or these scouts have to say about you and where they want to draft you and how bad they want you on the team or whatever, all that stuff. Some of that stuff is recruiting, but knowing some more inside information, I definitely thought I was going a little bit earlier. So I started getting calls, honestly, about very beginning of the 7th round from tons of teams saying that they want me to be, an undrafted free agent. They want me to come in. They feel like that spot would be the best spot for me to make the squad and produce in the first year. And so I was hearing all that. And, of course, that all sounds like free agency and that I'm not going to get drafted and stuff like that. So it wore on me big time. My whole goal has been to be that drafted guy. I mean, as a kid, that's what you see. Hearing your name called, that's a dream since you start playing ball. If you really want to go to the league, and just seeing that possibility start fading away, it started hurting. It started sucking a little bit, but I netted up and got around my family, got around my friends, laughed it off, and I was just ready for whatever happened. Started buckling down on teams that I might go to because of their depth or their lack of, and or who needed what. Seeing all that stuff. And then I started getting calls from scouts saying, that we're going to draft you here soon. your name is next on the board, be ready for it. And so, I kind of got out of that element and started getting ready to hear my name called, and then I did. So.
So did the Raiders contact you ahead of time and let you know that you were on the board, or it was just a complete surprise that it came from Vegas?
That was a complete surprise that came from Vegas, for sure. Complete surprise. I mean, I came on the 30 visit here, and I knew that this team liked me a lot, which I really appreciated. But I also saw at that time, they already had 6 to 7 safeties on the roster, so I was like, maybe they wouldn't need me right now, so I didn't know I didn't know what to expect. But, I got here, I'm working my butt off, I'm seeing the depth, I'm seeing where things can be filled, and, I see why. I do see why, and they drafted me for a multitude of reasons, but I can't wait to actually, show that when the pads come on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're excited to see it because when I watch your game tape at Air Force, man, you are like a cruise missile out there when you just beeline on a running back or a receiver or anybody that's got the ball in their hands and you just go and just hit them. The other great thing is, I mean, you like take really good angle whenever you're on the attack, and then you got that ball hawk type skill that the Raiders really have not had in a long time. Last year, we finally started to get our mojo with ball hawking, especially with Jack Jones doing what he's been doing. The kid is phenomenal. So I could definitely see how the Raiders absolutely needed you. And I also know that Tom Telesco's draft philosophy is first round is best player available, and later rounds from 5th to 7th is more of that best player available at the position, and not so much a position at need, because at the end of the day you have to have phenomenal players on your team and you have to have depth. And a rookie, maybe you have 5 or 6 guys in that depth chart, but maybe during camp that rookie shows, well, 3 of those guys probably don't need to be on the team versus me, the rookie, because look at what I can do. And so that's why you draft somebody with, again, the accolades that you have. If you would have got drafted in the 2nd round, I don't think anybody would have questioned it. If you'd have got drafted in the 3rd or 4th round, people might have been saying that's a little bit late. Maybe he could have got drafted a little bit earlier. But when you got drafted in the 7th round, like people were like, how did Trey Taylor end up in the 7th round? And me and one of my guest hosts, Hot Beavers, he was like, immediately when he heard your name, he was like, oh, that's a good draft pick. That is a good, he's like, do you know who he is? That's Trey Taylor. That's Ed Reed's cousin. Go watch his game tape. This dude plays like Ed Reed. I mean, he was hyped. Hyped. And rightly so, man. I mean, you've certainly put the work out on the field. And also I read a report that you're also very cerebral, did very well in school, but like the report that I read, it was a little while ago, so now I can't remember it, but basically it was saying that you read quarterbacks like some people might read a comic book. Like, what's going to happen on the next page before the quarterback even does. When you're out there on the field, and obviously, transitioning from college to the NFL is night and day difference. But when you're out there on the field, what types of things do you look for in order to anticipate what the opposing offense is going to do?
Yeah, that's really a lot of film. I look at a lot of quarterbacks and how they might change demeanor whenever they're dropping back, whether they're a one-look quarterback, whether they're a look-off quarterback, whether they pat the ball before they throw, before they make that final decision on where they're going to go with the ball. Their back step that declares when they're going to throw the ball. Offensive tackles or uncovered linemen are huge in my game, and what I look for with a run pass read. There's mannerisms from receivers, their alignment, what the formation is even saying, whether it's going to be max protect. just circumstances of the actual game, whether it's, 1st and 10 or 2nd and 12 or 3rd and short, just the possibilities of what can happen. I try to take all that in before the play is actually, starting. And it is different in the NFL because people motion a lot more. So there's a lot more film and a lot more knowledge that has to be had, which I'm happy to learn right now. But yeah, in college, it was not simple, but it was a lot. It is pretty easy to dissect when you actually, think about all that stuff or most of that stuff before the play happens.
Yeah, I mean, the safety is like, the linebacker has to be so smart and understand what's going on and kind of direct everybody. And then the safety position, you're like the linebacker out there in the DB room. And so you guys really set the tone out there from the way that you hit the opposing running backs and receivers and whatnot, and then just causing havoc by getting interceptions and pass deflections and just breaking up plays. The tone really gets set on the defense by your defensive edges, your linebacker, and then your safety, and then everybody kind of feeds around that. But I love what you said about, the film room. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen the play of Jack Jones and the Air Jordan-esque interception against the Chargers last year, and then the stare down of Patrick Mahomes. You have when you get an interception, do you have like a go-to? I mean, are you a stare down guy, or are you gonna do a Jordan-esque pose in the middle of the air like Jack did? Or do you just kind of just flow with whatever it's going to be? That's what it's going to be.
Honestly, I try to give with my teammates, or I'll do maybe like a small trend that I've seen. But I try to include the team as much as possible, just because usually my boys, so
yeah,
we've already come up with a little celebration that we've started to get ready for. Even already here with the guys, we've already come up with some stuff that hopefully you'll see pretty early on here, especially in the preseason. So
yeah, man, we're excited to see that for sure. You get the call from Tom Telesco and Coach. How surreal was that you're coming to the NFL? The dream, it may have not, the draft spot may not have happened when you thought it was, but it happened. And at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter where you get drafted. You're in the NFL. I mean, you play with a guy named Jacoby Myers, who's the most underrated wide receiver in the NFL. And he was undrafted, right? So how surreal is it now that you're sitting there in the training facility for the Raiders? You are a Las Vegas Raider. We have the saying, once a Raider, always a Raider. So we expect big things from you for a long time. Hope that you have a long, healthy career in the NFL with the Raiders. How does that feel like? Is the reality kicked in yet that you are there?
Yeah, a little bit. It finally has. Just with the competition that's been going on already, just on the team, period, and people trying to solidify or find their spots on the team. You can't help but sit back and say, like, man, I want to make this happen. I want to make this home. I want to make this where I'm at for my whole career. I love Vegas and everything that I've seen so far. So you ask yourself. You sit back and ask yourself, like, what better spot? And that's why a lot of us go out and practice and train and do the extra the way we do it. Because everybody's trying to vie for that 53 man and even some practice squad. And so people just going to run and try to take positions.
I'm going to throw in this is Raider Brian. He's one of the biggest supporters of this channel since I started it. He asks, what player did you model your game after?
I model my game after a lot. Of course, I got Ed Reed. I mean, him being able to give me pointers and just hearing what he has to say about the game and about, what's changed and how I can implement what he did into my game. And then Dante Whitner, I talk to him a lot too, and I love what he did on the field. I love how he attacks the play every single down. I also I also love how Kyle Hamilton plays. You know, I'm 3 inches shorter than him, but I feel like I got a lot of the same capabilities that he has. And so, you know, I love watching those three are probably my top three that, you know, I've watched.
So Ed, Hall of Famer, just an absolute beast out there on the field during his career. You know, how close are you to him? Did you grow up around him, or how has he influenced you in your pursuit of football?
Yeah, no, it's been huge. He's my number one dude when I'm talking football. You know, I didn't grow up with him much, but now that college has come, and definitely now that the NFL has come, you know, he's my number one, and so it's been nice to have somebody like him in my corner.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, anytime you can garner any type of tricks of the trade from a Hall of Famer, I mean, you can't go wrong with that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So you did the rookie camp already, and now you guys are doing OTAs, and then in a few days you guys are going to mandatory camp. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. In about 5 weeks, we'll be at camp.
So right now it's just all OTAs. You guys aren't even running pads yet, but you get to get out there and you get to see the next level of competition in the NFL, i.e., one Devontae Adams. Have you gone up against him at all yet, or are you just going up against rookies right now and guys and like third string guys or something?
Yeah, haven't gone up against him just yet. It's really just the competition that we have here as of now. But man, it's been a joy watching him run routes and just the way that he works, the way that he trains, his mindset, how he talks to us, how he leads. So I can't wait to actually be able to get to compete against him. You know, it's gonna be something that it's just gonna be iron sharpening iron. You know, that's the best. Personally, I mean, I'm biased, but that's the best receiver in the league right now to me. So yeah. To go against him every day, that's just going to get me better.
I mean, in talking about leaders, you have a few of them on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, Mad Max, right? Christian Wilkins. Malcolm Kuntz is coming into his own now. Have you got to chop it up with those guys too much, or?
Yeah. Max, he is probably the best leader that I've ever seen, especially for him to only be 3-4 years older than me. He's special. He's special. He's going to be special to me for a long time. I can't wait to actually, play with him. He's somebody that, you would go down and do anything on the field for, and it needs to be done. So he represents himself in a great fashion, somebody that, I love to watch and love to, just get some nuggets from. But yeah, he's a great dude. Great dude.
So Raiders Way asks, Trey, what's the best part of being a Raider so far?
Really the community that we have here on the team, the people that I've met, the boys that I've already built relationships with. Man, some of these rookies that have come in, we're gonna be great friends for a lifetime. And then also the support that we get from the community has been huge. I've seen a bunch of different fan bases growing up. I haven't felt anything like this at all, and it's been insane to see how much people get up and come and represent us, and it's been nice.
Yeah, we have the greeting for rookies coming to the Raiders of welcome to the dark side. And my boy A-Train, he says, welcome to immorality, otherwise welcome to the dark side, like Star Wars. Once a Raider, always a Raider. Let's just do great things, just win, baby. That's one of the biggest things about the Raider fan base. It is unlike any other fan base out there. You go and you watch other fans, other games, and they got good culture. They got good fans. You look at the Cheeseheads over in Green Bay, the Jets, the Giants. Then there's other teams that don't have that great of a fan base. I don't know, the Patriots maybe. But then you look at the Raider Nation, and it's worldwide. It's all races, all colors, all economic backgrounds, and everybody will literally show up with painted faces, wearing pirate suits, and screaming, "Let's go Raiders." You know, even if they're outside the stadium, if they can't even afford the ticket, people will just show up for that. And it's that that culture that Al Davis. Oh no, we lost him, guys. Oh, hold on, he's back.
Here we go.
Oh, all right, he's back. He's back. Technical difficulties. But yeah, I was saying, Al Davis, you know, he really established that culture, that rebel culture, togetherness and everything. And, you know, admittedly so, the Raiders kind of got away from some of that and tried to go the Patriots way and other stuff. But that's the past. We're back to the Raider way. And one of the guys who's bringing back the Raider way is your head coach, Antonio Pierce. Mm-hmm. The dude was grown up in Compton, rocking Raiders gear, loving the Raider Nation. Even though he didn't get to play for the Raiders, he is now the head coach of the Raiders. You got to talk to him when you got drafted briefly on the phone. Have you had more in-depth conversations with him since you've been on the team now and in facility and around him more?
Not really just one-on-one, but I see the way that he carries himself. I see the way that he brings about the team, and even, you know, more than Max. You know, he's just one of those leaders that how can you not, you know, do everything in your power to go play for him, run your head through a wall. Anything that he says, go do, you know. And he's a great person, great personality too, but even better leader. So hopefully I get to have him as a coach for as long as possible.
Oh yeah, we're all rooting for him. We knew when he took over as the interim head coach, just right away his presence that he brought, like, that's the Raider way. That's what we've been missing. Let's get back to that hard nose, Mahomes rules type, you know, Raider football, rough and rugged, right? Within the rules. We're not going to break the rules, but you know, when that's why drafting a guy like you, I watched you hit guys out there on the field with absolutely no remorse and no fear. You do it the right way so that you're not getting penalties or endangering yourself or other players. But you have no mercy out there. I see that. And that's what the Raiders need. We need to be that physical, imposing team on especially within the conference, especially against the Chiefs, because that's the only way you beat the Chiefs. That's how we beat them on Christmas last year, was being physically and dominant and touching Patrick Mahomes over and over and over again. So that's what Coach Pierce brings. I love the fact that he's the head coach. Hope he stays the head coach. I actually have us going a minimum of 14-3 this year, which some people have called me absolutely crazy, but I am a crazy Raiders fan, so I will continue to believe that we will sweep the AFC West every year. But this year, I actually believe we will sweep the AFC West because, again, we had the best draft in 20 years, and we have a great head coach who brings back that Raiders football, and we got great players like you on the team. You're sitting there in the facilities right now, so that's the practice facilities, right?
Yep.
You've been in the locker room. You've been all over the facility. I'm sure by now. Everybody hears it, but from the fan side, we don't get to actually see or really know what it's like. I mean, we get to know what it's like to sit in the stands and watch the game, but how impressed are you with how every attention to detail they have done for the players to make your job easier, as far as nutrition, you know, training, all that stuff? How impressed are you with the facilities there?
Yeah, no, they make this seamless. Everything that we need is at our fingertips. You know, if you didn't put something in your body that you needed, or if you didn't have, if you have a muscle cramps or you're having any type of issue, you know, 9 times out of 10, it's on you because you didn't put it in your body. You know, like they have everything at the snap of a finger for us. The food here is 10 out of 10, especially coming from the academy. You know, you're eating not slop, but it's not the best, you know. But yeah, just seeing the way that they take care of the players and the way that they love on each other. This is a special team, and I can't wait to show people, especially media. Not looking too far into media, but we got something special going on here, and I'm excited to be able to show them, prove to people that this isn't a mediocre team that, you know, people might have said we had in the past. This is gonna be something special.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they spared no expense on that stadium to make sure that, you know, our guys get the very best, because our guys deserve the very best. We are the Raiders after all. Yeah. How's Coach Graham been? Have you got to really pick his brain yet on the defense and what he's expecting from you? Or have you just spent most of your time with our DB coaches?
Most of the time with the DB coaches. You know, I'll be in meetings with Coach Graham every once in a while, but you know, he's a master of what he does. You can tell that he's so meticulous about defense, about football as a whole. It's gonna. I mean, he makes football easy to learn.
Yeah,
and he implements that in all his coaches, and he's definitely he's one of the best defensive coordinators I've had so far, and I've only been here with him for 2 weeks. You know, so can't wait to see where that leads.
I got another welcome to the Raider Nation from Big Pineapple.
Yeah.
You've already started to bond with some of the teammates. You were talking about this a little bit earlier, and how you guys already got some stuff kind of planned out for at least preseason, and then hopefully we're going to see some more of you guys in the regular season as we make those pushes. How is the teammates? I know you touched on a little bit. The culture there is very welcoming. Guys like Max Crosby just taking players in, and yeah, it's kind of just been Max pretty much since he came to the NFL. He's always been that way. How is it with the rest of the teammates? Do you guys? I know we interviewed Bruce Wilkerson, legendary left tackle for the Raiders, went on to win a Super Bowl with Green Bay, and he said that the Raiders, you know, back in his day, they had a Thursday night camaraderie night where they all went to a restaurant or whatever, and they'd like almost everybody, the whole team would show up. Hey, do you guys have kind of something similar to that of what you're doing now? How is the bonding there, and what do you guys do?
Yeah, just because of how early it is, you know, I haven't seen that, but especially with this rookie class that we have coming in, you know, we hang out all the time. It's a question mark on somebody if, you know, they're not with, you know, the rest of the class during the day, especially when we have off days, which is really fun to me. It reminds me a little bit of the academy, and so that's been nice to feel, you know, going into the league, you don't know what to expect, you know. Like, it is definitely a dog-eat-dog world out here, but when you have people like the guys that, you know, I'm doing this thing with, especially coming in, you know, it makes it a lot easier to deal with some of the circumstances that come with the NFL. So no, it's been awesome being able to be around these dudes. We got something special going on here, especially with the people that I've said in the locker room with Max and all those leaders, and then especially the rookie class I've seen. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun ride.
What do you see? I know it's early. I mean, you guys haven't even gotten to mandatory camp yet. We're not even close to preseason yet, but already, like, how do you see yourself fitting in your role that you can bring to the Raiders?
Yeah, immediately depth. You know, I can come in and I know that I can provide a spark for this defense. But you know, that takes time, and like you said, it's really early. So right now I'm trying to build as good of a relationship with the coaching staff and with my boys, and especially on special teams that I possibly can. You know, because that's the first way to change the game and affect where you are on the team. And so I'm doing that to the best of my ability right now. But like you said, you know, it's really early. We don't even have pads on yet. But when those pads on, I'm very confident that a lot of that is going to swing my way.
So they changed the kickoff rules.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be interesting to see how this is going to play out, but we're going to get a lot more kickoff returns now than we have in the past because, they changed the rules from how it used to be for player safety, which was good. But now we're going to get back to a lot more contact and hopefully a lot more opposing teams fumbling the ball and hopefully seeing you strip balls from guys that are trying to run past you. How do you think that have you guys done any of the kickoff return special teams drills, practices, anything like that so far?
Yeah, and I will say it's definitely different. Like everybody's gonna see here soon, but when you got a special teams coordinator like we do, is he's gonna put us in the right spots to succeed. And he's gonna, I'm sure that we're gonna be at our A game a lot better than a lot of these other special teams groups when time comes for us to actually perform that new rule. So I'm excited for that. And we got a lot of speed and size and power on the field to exercise what we want to do on special teams, which is just defeat blocks, make tackles, and then block the mess out of other people. So we're gonna be fine. It's gonna be definitely a good switch for us too.
So my boy Jimmy Mullen, one of the founders of the biggest Raiders Facebook groups, Silver and Black Nation. If you guys are just tuning in now and you're not a member of that group, we are the official podcast over there. Jimmy's an awesome dude. He says, have you had any interaction with defensive assistant coach Ryan, who is a character?
That's the funniest dude I've ever met in my life. And it's like so unintentionally funny too, but also he knows how to be serious and he knows how to get somebody right. He knows how to get some steam off your butt, and I appreciate him for that big time because he's going to get after you. He's not going to take things lightly. He wants to see the best in everybody that, he's coaching. So while he is a big personality that everybody knows about, he's somebody that, you can't help but want to go play for. There's not a single coach on this coaching staff that you wouldn't want to go out and play for. But man, we got coaches like him, it just makes everything even better.
What about the OG Mark Davis? Have you got to meet him yet?
I haven't gotten to meet him yet, but I'm excited to. I'm really excited to. I heard that he's a character too, but everybody in here is, which makes this team so fun to be around. But I've only heard great things. I can't wait to meet him one day. Just looking forward to the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've gathered, because I've talked to other former Raiders, that played under Al Davis and a little bit with Mark, and Al was like the godfather, and then Mark's like the big brother. Right, he'll take you to a basketball game or a hockey game, and chill with you, just like like an older brother would. You know what I mean? So he's a great owner to have. I know he's caught a lot of heat since he's taken over because there's been some coaching and stuff like that we've brought in that didn't work out. But at the end of the day, if you ask any of the former Raiders greats, they'll all tell you that Mark Davis is a phenomenal dude. He loves the Raiders. He bleeds silver and black. I mean, he's got it in his blood from his dad. So I hope you get to hang out with him. You should talk to Max about that, because him and Max go and have cigars once in a while. So you should be like, bro, listen, let me go with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let me go hang out with Mark with you, man. But yeah, so you're a Raider.
Yeah.
You're donning the silver and black. I don't know what your football team was growing up, but now it doesn't matter because now you're a Raider.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you to don that helmet? Because it is an iconic franchise. It is a franchise, like you said earlier, it's unlike any other franchise because of the original owner in Al Davis set that culture that we would always oppose whatever it was. From the first Hispanic head coach to the first black head coach, Al Davis did not care. He cared about the character of the man and the ability of the man, not what color you were, where you came from, socioeconomic, ethnic, didn't matter to him. No other team, a team started doing that after the Raiders when it became politically convenient. Al Davis was doing it when it was not. In fact, he upset the NFL commissioner, and that's why the Raiders have been the most hated team in the NFL by other owners and by the commissioners. It really hasn't mattered what commissioner. Now I know I'm not going to have you comment on that because that can get you into some mess. That's my opinion, and I'm free to say so because I'm not in the NFL. I just talk about the NFL. But Trey, you're a Raider now. What does that mean to you?
Yeah. If you just look, not everything is based on social media, but social media is a really easy way to see what people feel. And I see that we get a lot of hate. I see that we get a lot of envy. I see that we get a lot of things thrown our way just because of who we are, and what we represent in the league. And I love being that person that people hate now. I don't really care what people think. I want to go win, and I love the saying of "just win, baby." That's what I resonate with. I resonate with the fact that not everybody's gonna like you, and you gotta beat somebody's butt every day, no matter if they like you or not. And that's the only thing that's gonna get what we are trying to convey to people through their heads is that we don't care if you like us or not. We're just gonna win, and we're gonna make you feel it when we do. Play after play after play after play, and that's the mindset that people come into practice with, and I love it. I love that identity and just the fearlessness of playing ball. Nobody is shying away from hits. People want the contact. People want to see each other be great. It's something that I know definitely started with Al, but it's been able to fester, and this whole team is definitely still here, well alive today. So this means everything.
Yeah, I mean, Fighter VR comments here. Have you had the opportunity to learn the history and the mystique of the franchise? Clearly, you're getting firsthand of that every day. But have you gone back? I know Max is a big Raiders history guy. He likes to go back and study the greats. But we have probably the best alumni in all of football. You'll routinely see some of our best and brightest Raiders ever around the facility. Charles Woodson is always around. Have you run into any of the alumni yet? And if so, if not, what kind of questions do you have for them when you eventually do meet some of the alumni that will show up?
I actually have met a few, and most of them were during our player development sessions. But they'll come back and feed us with knowledge that a lot of us didn't know prior. And there's a big source of pride when it comes to the Raiders and the foundation of who we are. I mean, we even have people on the staff that have played here that want to give back and that talk to us all the time. And it's easy to see how much love that the organization has for the people that's already played for them, and how much love people who already played for them have for the organization. It's evident. And so it's been nice having people come back. Still so much to learn, but yeah, that's pretty cool. I can't wait to come back one day and be able to talk about my experience and what all this has meant to me. But yeah, that's what I've seen so far.
So the number that the Raiders gave you was 37, right?
Yeah.
And so if you get the chance, are you going to stick with 37? Or if in the future, like AOC, he switched his number to 12 this year. Then there were some other changes, like Zamir changed his number as well. In the future, if you can change it, would you change it? And if so, what?
Maybe if a certain number opens up. But as of right now, I'm 100% ready to wear that number and to sport that for as long as necessary. I mean, there have been greats who played my position, or DB at least, wearing that number, have funky stances, but they were all-time legends. And so I'm glad to be able to represent that number now and to make it what it was and what it can become.
Well, I appreciate you coming on the channel, spending some time. I know you got a lot of work to do. You're a very busy man. I want to thank Tim over at your agency for helping getting all of this lined up, and everybody over there that trusted having their guy come on my YouTube channel. I don't have the biggest YouTube channel. We're just under 6,000 subscribers. So it's a big trust to have you come on and spend this time with me. I really, really do appreciate it. I know the Raiders Nation really appreciate getting to sit here and talk with you and drop some comments and ask you some questions. So everybody that's out there in the comment section right now that is watching this, drop the number 37 right now in those comments. Just flood the comments with the number 37 because we want to see this kid have a fantastic rookie year, maybe rookie defensive player of the year type year. We're going to be cheering you on. We're going to be rooting for you. You are welcome back on the channel anytime, my friend. Just hit me up. You know how to get in touch with me. Stay safe out there on the practice field. And man, we are just looking forward to see you get out there and grind, and let's win some games, baby.
Yeah, just win, baby. Just win. I appreciate you having me on.
So we're going to sign off for now. You know how we end this.